Hi everyone, today I will tell you how do you approach low-level system design questions in interviews. I'm Aman and I'm working as a software engineer in big tech from past 3 years. Although we'll be taking the example of a movie booking app, but you can use this example as a template to approach any kind of low-level system design question. Now let's begin. So first step of any system design problem in is to gather requirements. So we'll be asking the interviews what kind of what kind of system do we want and what are the requirements for it. For this system, our app will be listing current movies and the shows, and users can search those movies, or users can search different types of show for a particular movie. Then our app will allow a registered user to book tickets for the show. And also our app will allow the theaters to add or edit a show. Now, second step is to clarify our doubts and to um, clarify our assumptions regarding the system. So, thinking about these requirements, some questions come to mind. For example, can our theater have multiple screens? So the answer might come to us as yes. Next question that might come to mind is like, do we support a seat map, and like use can user book a particular seat? And for this example, we'll be going with just the number of seats, not the exact location of the seats. And for each screen, we'll be assuming that it has some capacity. The next question that might come to mind is like, do we need to sign in to be able to search for movie shows? Then for this system will not have that requirement. After that, we'll have to lay down our assumptions, because in an interview in 1 hour we won't be able to implement everything, so we'll need to define our scope. So for this example, uh, so there are some assumptions that I'm making, such that so there's a case that a one movie can have multiple languages and multiple types. For example, the same movie can be available in 3D, 2D, English, Hindi, such that, but they all will share a common rating and a common genre, and so common name. So I'm having two different so I'm approaching a movie as like one movie, and then a movie variant which can have multiple languages and types. Now I'm assuming that our movies will have two languages and four genres. Then also I'm specifying a scope, that we will not be implementing the payment and authorization in this example. So after all these clarifications from the interviewer, will have our final requirements. You can see those on the screen. So after that, our next step is to build the entities and entity relationships. Uh, what tables will be adding in our database, and how would those tables be related to each other? So for that, a very common thumb rule is to look on this requirements and identify all the nouns in this. That gives us a good starting point uh, to see what kind of entities we will be having. And it's after some practice, you won't even have to do that. It will just come naturally to you. So yeah, figure out the nouns in the requirements, and not all nouns will become tables, but it's a good place to start. So I've highlighted the nouns in our from our requirements, as you can see on the screen. So using these, I came up with a entity relationship diagram. That's like a pretty basic one. I didn't want to have a very complicated diagram to intimidate like whoever is looking whoever is looking the video. So this is the relationship diagram that I come up with. So we will be having a theater, and that theater will tell us the location of that, like where the theater is, what's the name of the theater, so and so, and then each theater can have multiple screens inside it, and those screens will each have a different set of capacity for them. Some can be big screens, some can be small screens. Then the screens will have shows scheduled on them, and each show will have a time and which movies does it have. So movie will have a genre and rating information, uh, and what is the movie duration also we can add here to the movie duration. And then those movies will have multiple variants which will have different languages and types. So shows will be mapped to movie variant, not directly to movies. Now there will be also a registered user class. So whenever we'll book a ticket, that ticket will have a show information and the user information in it, and what is the number of seats that ticket can have. So this is the diagram, and here are the a little more detailed class structure. As we can see, the registered user have ID and name. Movie will have name, rating, genre. We can add one more field called duration here. There will be a movie variant which will have a movie ID pointing to this table. It will have a language and type. Then there'll be a there will be a theater class which will have name and location and theater ID, which will in turn be referenced in the theater screen table, which will have screen ID, theater ID, and seating capacity. And that show will be tagged to the theater screen and a movie variant at the same time, and which time the show starts. Also, there will be a ticket table. It will have ticket ID, show ID, number of seats we have booked, and the user ID. So while booking any, in this we have to make sure that our tables are normalized. There are no data redundancy among the tables, and there are no cyclic dependencies or any information. If we are updating, we don't have to update it in multiple tables. These are some good practices while designing a database. Also, I've not added remaining capacity or like remaining seats inside the inside a show, because whenever we are booking a show, we can just at that time we'll see okay, how many seats are booked and what is the capacity there, and then we'll book a show. So that's just a decision that I made. After uh, we have an agreement with our interviewer that okay, the entities look good, then we can move to API endpoints. There are two approaches. Some people prefer designing the APIs first and then the entities, and some people prefer entities first and then the APIs. It's completely whatever you are comfortable with. I usually start with the entities first. So for APIs, for entities, remember what we did was we highlighted all the nouns, and then it helped us with the entities. For API endpoints, we will highlight the verbs, and that those verbs will tell us what APIs we will be exposing. It's just like a starting point. This is not a very hard and fast rule, but this is exactly how the APIs will look like. Just some reference. So, sorry. So these are the API endpoint that I'm thinking will be exposing. One should be to register the user, to book the tickets, to see the booking history for a registered user, and to search for shows. See, I've added two filters here: movie name and location, so that a user can check for particular movie shows nearby his location. And there will be some admin APIs that, like, admin can add movies, shows, theaters, edit shows, edit screens, or all those things. So next phase will be the implementation that we'll be looking at in our next video. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to release it as soon as possible. We'll be building a Spring Boot application, and we'll try to expose, and we'll be implementing all of these APIs. Thanks a lot. See you next. Hi everyone. Just a quick tip that whatever we have discussed in this video, entity relationships and API design, usually you would like to cover that in under 20 to 25 minutes in an interview. And don't worry, once you practice certain number of questions, this will all become very natural to you. This does not take up a lot of effort in build. You just have to build that sense of figuring out what entities and how they are how they should be related. Also, this was my first YouTube video ever, and as you can see, I'm a little nervous. And hopefully, like with future videos, I'll be like a much more better confidence and a little less awkward. Thanks a lot for your support.